Hi, good morning. My name is Victor Rafael Casanova and welcome to your daily doses of news. First of all, to define our topic, we're going to get some context. What is globalization? According to Peterson Institute, globalization is defined as a word used to describe the growing independence of the world's economies, cultures, and populations, brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, technologies, and flows of investment, people, and information. Now, there are several approaches for globalization. First, first point that we're going to mention for globalization to appear is a political development. In globalization, here it speaks to the starting of the long-standing time prepared for the political economic development of mankind. With cultural impacts, even of the off chance that for the meaning of being, it is beyond any doubt that we might say about the impacts of the long term of the challenging work upon the universal community. But it is clear indeed presently that this globalization paper has both a positive and a negative effect. What is nice in this process is to begin with all of the expanding interdependency between the universal relations due to globalization brings a modern shape to the national universal security concept, and the result is the development of the exogenous components that we are impacting of the unfolding working of the society. Today, the social issues become also political. For example, a social action is caused by a ecological problem in a local area is also regarded as an issue by a global public. This social action, in terms of its causes, development, and results, creates a political and economic effect in local and regional and global levels. Also, we have the economic phenomenon. In this sector expresses the spread of sales, production and manufacturing processes, and the increased cooperation between world economies led to an economic globalization that includes the liberalization and deregulation of markets, the retreat of state intervention, and in the economy, also known as the distribution of welfare, the distribution of technology, distribution of manufacturing across nations, also the integration in capital and trade markets, which these are the settings where foreign currencies, stock, bonds, and bank loans, for example, are traded. These are some benefits and downsides to globalization. A few of the benefits incorporate the exponentially quickened advance of development, the creation of universal mindfulness, and also the certainty and the potential for expanded richness. Be that as it may, the encounter has appeared that nations can moreover be debilitated by globalization. A few pundits of globalization stress almost the development impact of gigantic worldwide monetary and mechanical organizations that advantage the foremost from a free exchange and unlimited markets. They fear these organizations can utilize their endless riches and assets to control governments to act their integrity instead of at their nearby populace. And without certainly without a doubt, when looking at the nations at the foot of the list over, we're looking at the places where the essential benefactors of mineral issues are major enterprises and many key political figures. And also another point uh, that is like a dimension for globalization that is affecting is the spread of specific values and trends. In this area, a global merging of politics, financial practices, and also culture around the American form of majority rule government, also capitalism and a way of life in which consumption of products and culture. Some examples of that are films, music, eateries, etc., that also take place of the religion or of other cultural traditions. And this in the result is a world that at least in major cities feels increasingly similar to no matter where you are. Some examples are the slowing growth in China, the low oil prices, the connections between climate change, immigration, and terrorism will have repercussions for global power also. Another examples are the non-governmental organizations, the indigenous people, water initiatives, poverty, and inequality. And also we have the social revolution, which globalization is creating a new economy in which the world is a single market, and a new social order in which people take part in a global culture, an economy that is more open and flexible. It is also typified by the global integrated production, specialized but interdependent labor markets, and also the new technological linkages. For example, phones, the internet, online markets, that transcended national borders. Other fault finders contradict globalization for what they see as negative impacts on the environment and neighborhood economies. Also, we have the fast industrialization, that regularly it is a key component of globalization that can lead to a far-reaching financial harm due to the need for administrative environment. In advance, as there are frequently no social teach input to ensure the laborers in nation where occupations are rare, a few fault finders state that globalization leads to powerless labor development. And at last, here to mention, we have that pundits are concerned about the affluent nations that can constrain financially weaker countries to open their markets, whereas censoring their possesses of nearby items from the competition. And the last point that we want to talk about here is the change in the concept of space and distance, which we're going to talk about the experience of space that is closely tied to the required time to connect distant locations. And we have here the faster mobility and intermittent telecommunication that have combined to dramatically shrink at the same time, resulting in a completely different human experience of space, typified by the increased interconnectedness, also known as the distant events that have local impact, increased speed of social activity mediated by technology, and some examples of these are Zoom, Skype, Google Meets, and other apps. Um, and that will be all for today. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you like the news of the day. See you next day. Bye.